Hello everyone, so today I'm going to talk about the media in the United Kingdom. So first of all, what is the media? The term media, in the plural of medium, alludes to the communication channels through which we share news, music, films, education, promotional messages, and other data and information. It incorporates physical and online magazines and newspapers, TV, radio, billboards, telephone, internet, and fax. So it describes the different routes by which we communicate in society. By alluding to all media, everything from a call to the nightly news on TV can be called media. When we talk about reaching a large number of people, we call that mass media. And local media alludes to, for example, your local newspaper or local TV or radio channels. The British media is made up of a wide range of different types of newspapers that can be distinguished by frequency of appearance. So they can be daily, Sunday, weekly, or political extents like left, right, centrist, or independent style. So it can be broadsheet, tabloid, or middle market. And finally, coverage. So it can be national or regional. So, what is the media's role in the United Kingdom? In the history of the world, there has always been forms of propaganda, from rumors to elaborate movies. Human beings have always sought to control the thoughts and actions of of others in conflicts. If governments can control the minds of their people and of their allies, they can make civilians work better as a unit and thus be more productive in a large-scale conflicts. The pen has also proven to be more powerful than the sword, so propaganda persuades nations of people to dedicate their lives to a cause. And, and after studying British propaganda during the Second World War, it's easy to see why British propagandists were the elite in the field during that period in history. Both the House Front and the US division propaganda campaigns used custom goals, strategies, and tactics to achieve their goals. And after performing an analysis on the primary sources produced by the British government, the data produced supports the notion that the British used various custom, time-tested, and innovative tactics to win the hearts and minds of their citizens and allies. Also, several qualitative studies suggest that significant media effects in a variety of domains, and qualitative research suggests that the media coverage has a proven impact on the image of the UK political parties, on people's positions on policy, and on levels of public cynicism about the political system. Also, a newspaper support shifting from one party to another also influences readers' political orientations. And what's more, monetary inclusion on TV affects public positive thinking on cynicism about the UK economy. However, it can still be argued that such studies often use experimental or focus group techniques. They may therefore lack naturalism or generalization, or focus on unrepresentative convenience samples, meta-analysis for comprehensive critiques of such meta methodologies. Furthermore, the size of the impact on economic perceptions can be quite modest, and based on aggregate level analysis, cannot control the reinforcing processes that drive partisanship. Finally, studies relating to unusual circumstances, that is, when newspapers drastically change the party supported, are by definition atypical and do not establish a general impact on the media. However, these criticisms are much less relevant to research conducted at the individual level. But several studies illustrate a citizen's level of the dependence on the media for information on a large range of issues closer and more nationally situated. So, for an assessment of the national economy situation or an understanding of crime and the system of criminal justice, or even or also corporate reputations, and European politics. But in a sense, the media is all powerful. They are not. Any nuances analysis must fully recognize that the variety of forces, like domestic and international, can have important, perhaps more profound impacts on attitudes and attitudes development. And in addition to this consideration, there is literature that shows the real impact of media coverage on economic perceptions and attitudes toward which party controls the economy better. And it also discovers extremely solid affirmation of the overall setting force of the media, just as some supporting proof on the impact of UK media stories about the EU on relevance to the EU audience as an issue. So all of this media-related research has gone almost entirely without theoretical consideration or exploration. So I previously argued that there is ample evidence that the media can impact attitude formation, especially but not exclusively, where the public depends on coverage, has a weak partisan bias, or where reporting is uniform or nearly uniform across a range of sources. Furthermore, it should be appreciated that the media's ability to reinforce pre-existing attitudes, whether these attitudes are related to the EU, immigration, or benefit fraud, or climate change, there is a significant power in its own right. So, when talking about the media in the UK, it is important to mention that there are different types of media. In this slide, I will mention what types of media are used in the UK, as well as some examples of the most impactful ones, namely television, radio, newspapers, magazines, websites, and also the music industry. So, like I previously said, television, radio, newspapers, magazines, websites, and the music industry are the types of media used in the UK. And now I'm going to mention the most relevant ones in the UK by category. So, starting off with television. When it comes to television, some of the most important TV channels in the UK are British Broadcasting Company, or BBC, ITV Network Limited, Channel 4 Television Corporation, and Sky Limited. Meanwhile, when it's radio, BBC Radio 4, Kiss FM, BBC Radio World Service, and Leading Britain's Conversation are the most listened radio channels or radio stations. On the other hand, we also have the newspapers, being the most popular ones in the UK, obviously The Sun on Sunday, Daily Mail, and the Sunday Times. However, it is also important to mention its magazines, the most influential ones being Radio Times, Time Out, BBC Gardener's World, and What's on TV. There are also websites, another type of media used, and the most accessed websites in UK are Google, YouTube, Facebook, the website of BBC, and also Amazon UK. Finally, it's also important to mention the music industry, since it's the most popular and powerful form of media that kids and teens consume. And as we all know, there are several artists from the UK that are known worldwide. We just have to turn on the radio or go on our phones, and there will be several artists that we know that are from the UK. So this is a very powerful form of media. So now I'm going to say my conclusions that I came up with after the research for this assessment. So it is correct to say that media are everywhere, not just in the UK, but all over the world. With the advance of time, more and more types of media have been created, some gaining more relevance and others losing it, depending on the context of society, but it continues to be present in our daily lives. As we all know, we can't escape media. It is on our phones, on billboards, on a poster, on the radio, on TV. So it is something that, as it has a great presence on our lives, it can also have a huge impact and influences. Um, However, it is important to note that what could be its biggest role in the UK is its use on politics. So the UK has a solid free media history with several newspaper titles, TV and radio channels, and the media's job is to educate the general population on significant issues that influence them, whether these issues are local, international, or national. Also, newspapers stay a significant wellspring of political data, with thousands sold and read online consistently. So in the UK, the most generally read famous papers are the Sun and Daily Mail, like I previously mentioned. But for the most broadly read for quality papers are the Telegraph and the Times that I also mentioned in my assessment. And inside the traditions that must be adhered to, papers can print pretty much what they like. This implies various papers can decide to report the news in an unexpected way. Their selection of pictures and text titles. Newspapers can adopt an uneven strategy to news detailing. For instance, at the hour of a political decision, newspapers are extremely clear with regard to which ideological group they support, encouraging their readers to decide in favor of their ideological group instead of another. So what I mean by this is that newspapers are still pretty much relevant nowadays, but they can print whatever they want. So they can use an image that doesn't correspond to the truth, and they will use it whatever they want. On the other hand, TV and radio political news announcing is not the same as newspapers, as law requires TV news to be more reasonable and adjusted. So TV channels are relied upon to report current realities and to be adjusted in their investigation. Various agents from various ideological groups are each normal to be permitted to give their perspectives on significant issues. So the newspapers, they won't have a problem telling you for which political party they stand for, and they will try to influence you. Meanwhile, TV and radio, they have to be more unbiased and give you a perspective from every political party. For example, um, recently, various TV debates have been broadcasted, including the leaders of different parties. Every one of these debates were watched by several citizens, even millions, not only in the UK. But however, the post-debate investigation as proposed that many people who watched the debates had efficiently made up their brains and their mind and were not impacted by what they heard. This implied that although one party leader or another may have seemed to have won the debate, in general the discussion little affected the political race results. So TV and radio aren't as influential as newspapers can be. Uh, Progressively, individuals use the internet as a source of data and information, particularly social media, and nowadays social media is more and more used. As the web permits nearly anyone to post nearly anything they want, a portion of the data information on the web isn't accurate or reliable. Notwithstanding, the web allows individuals practically limitless access to data and information, which means individuals are more educated and informed than they were before social media. And this is great for political parties because this offers a chance to connect directly with voters and get their opinions across. For example, uh, if you're running for a race for a political party or whatever, if you have a social network, for example, Twitter, and you tweet about your political views, you probably will get more voters because your message will get to them more quickly, and they will also have the opportunity to interact to you and with other people that saw your tweet and your political views. So to conclude, so to conclude, the media is present everywhere. The newspapers stay pretty much irrelevant. TVs and radio stations are more reliable than newspapers, though, and the adaptance to use social networks, social media as a media has a great impact in nowadays on people. Now, to conclude, we have here my references. And that's all. That's the end. Thank you all for watching.